We are all products of what we have been through in life to a certain extent. We all have stories to tell about what we've been through in our lives, and a lot of it's bad and a lot of it's good. And, but you know, we are made up of our personalities, our outlook, our views. A lot of that is shaped through what we have been through in our lives and who we've been around and our experiences with people and situations. Now, that's not to say we have to let the negative define who we are. We don't, and I don't do that. But I myself, I'm a contrast in a lot of ways. My father was pretty much a sociopath. In that my father had his own set of rules he lived by, his own views he lived by in life. And he imposed those views and rules on us, my siblings, my brothers and sisters. And my father lived by these rules whether they clashed with the law or not, whether they clashed with society or not. My father had his way of looking at life and living life, and that's the way it was going to be. And we had no choice but to go along with it. My father was a badass. My father was pretty much a badass as well as being a sociopath, okay? My dad didn't take any shit off anybody. Okay, that was one of his rules. And as a result, he didn't let us take any shit off anybody. My dad, by the time we were in first and second grade, my dad would get in the floor with us and wrestle with us and get on his knees and slap box with us. He taught us how to throw combinations. He taught us how to slip punches. He taught us how to get people in headlocks. He taught us how to get people in hammerlocks. Taught us how to box and wrestle. He also taught us how to fish and hunt, work on cars and everything else. But my dad, being the badass he was and didn't take any shit off anybody, he taught us, he gave us the tools that we could go through life not being pushed around and not having to take any shit off people as well. The neighborhood we grew up in the city, was a neighborhood where if you didn't learn to fight at an early age, you were going to have a hard life. And my dad gave us the tools when we were young. Now, my brothers and sisters were pretty good at it, but I took to it like a duck in water. To this day, I have had well over 50 street fights in my life, all the way up into my 40s, and I've lost 6. And 4 of those 6 involved alcohol, to the point where I was probably so drunk I couldn't walk, much less fight. But my dad, one of his rules was, he told us, he gave us the tools to take up for ourselves. And my dad told us when we were young, he said, if you ever start a fight, I will beat you. He said, but if you ever run from a fight, I will beat you. And he meant it. I was a kid in the 60s, a teenager in the 70s. Corporal punishment was alive and well back then and preferred. And if we pissed my dad off, my dad would pull his belt off and double it up, or he would grab a piece of 2x4 from the basement, his workshop, and he would wear the hell out of us. When he said, "I will beat you," he meant it. I remember one time as a teenager, my brother decided my dad wasn't going to take the belt of the 2x4 to him anymore. He's about 14, 15 years old. And he turned around and came in drunk. And he told my dad, "You're not going to touch me with that belt." My dad said, "Fine." He dropped the belt, doubled up his fist, and he beat my brother down in the corner. He beat my brother so bad my brother pissed all over himself, the carpet, everything. My dad literally beat the piss out of my brother. My dad had a lot of good qualities to him too, but I'll give you an idea of what he was like. Not just with us, but with people on the street, total strangers. We were at a bowling alley one night. He had taken us to the local bowling alley. And it was, Wednesday or Thursday night. It's through the week, wasn't a lot of people there. And we're bowling, and one of the bowling alley attendants came up and said, "Hey, there's some guys out in the parking lot going through cars, looking in car windows, pulling on car doors." So everybody there, wasn't a lot of people there, but everybody went up and they're looking out the windows and they're looking out the front windows and trying to see him. And there was 3 tall guys out there going through the windows. Well, my dad walked outside. He walked halfway to the parking lot. And they turned around and looked at him. And he said, "Did you find what you're looking for?" And they said, "Well, we ain't looking for nothing." He said, "Yeah, you are. You walk around looking in car windows and pulling on doors." He said, "Go on, look what you're looking for." He said, "I'm going to tell you something. I don't give a shit whose car you break into tonight. And I don't give a shit what you steal. But you break into my car, and I'm going to break every fucking bone in your bodies. So go on, do what you're doing. Look for what you're looking for. Do your thing. But you break in the wrong car, and I'm going to break every bone in your body." And those 3 guys looked at my dad, and they looked at each other. They walked across the parking lot, walked across Cleveland Avenue. Last time we seen them, they were going down the hood. Now, my mother, on the other hand, when she put hands on us, it was to hug us. It was to love us. It was to pray for us. She was gentle. She was kind. You see, I'm a contrast. I grew up with both of those differences in the home. I have been exposed to both sides of that contrast. And depending on a situation, on any given situation, any one of those sides can come out of me. And sometimes it's my dad's side, and sometimes it's my mom's side. But we are a product of our past. We are a product of what we've been through. I try real hard not to let that define us. I try real hard not to let that define me. But sometimes it just can't be helped.